I didn't believe in ghost stories. I never had, not even when I was a kid. So when I heard about the lanterns in the little village of Eldamia, I laughed. The people said that every full moon, the lanterns lit up on their own and guided lost travelers home. They said it had been happening for years, maybe even centuries. They called it a blessing. I called it nonsense. But I had to see it for myself. I arrived on the day of the full moon. Eldamia was small, quiet, surrounded by thick woods. The people there were friendly but wary. When I asked about the lanterns, some shook their heads. Some just walked away. One old man muttered, "Best not to question kindness." That only made me more curious. That night, I stood by the village square, staring at the unlit lanterns hanging from poles and trees. Midnight came. Then, one by one, they flickered to life. No hands touched them. No wind. Just flame, burning steady in the glass. A soft, golden glow spread through the village. I felt a chill. Not from the cold, but from something else. Something I didn't understand. I followed the lanterns. They stretched down the narrow roads, weaving toward the edge of the village, then beyond. Into the woods. I walked, my heart pounding, though I told myself it was just lanterns and nothing more. But the farther I went, the heavier the air felt. Like something unseen was watching. Then, I saw her. A figure stood ahead, near a large oak tree. A woman in an old-fashioned dress, long and flowing. She was pale, her eyes dark. She didn't move. She just stared at me. I wanted to run. But my feet wouldn't move. Then she spoke. "You shouldn't be here." Her voice was soft, sad. I swallowed, forcing myself to speak. "Who are you?" She tilted her head. "I was the lantern keeper. A long time ago." I felt my mouth go dry. "What do you mean was?" She stepped closer. "Not walking. Just drifting. I died waiting for someone," she said. "He was supposed to return before the war took him. I kept the lanterns burning, so he'd find his way back." Her voice broke a little. "But he never did." I looked around. The lanterns glowed, casting light on her pale face. "So, you're the one who lights them?" She nodded. "I keep the lost from staying lost. Until he comes back." A shiver ran down my spine. "He's not coming back," I whispered before I could stop myself. Her eyes flickered with something unreadable. "No," she said. "But I still wait." The wind picked up. The lanterns flickered. For the first time, I saw something else in her face. Not just sadness. Fear. "What happens if you stop?" I asked. She looked past me, into the dark woods. "Then they won't find their way home." Something rustled in the trees. A low whisper, though no one was there. The light of the lantern seemed weaker, like they were struggling. The woman gasped. "It's getting stronger," she murmured. "The dark. It knows I'm fading." My heart pounded. "What dark?" She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw true terror in her eyes. "The thing that takes the lost ones. I keep it away. But if the lanterns go out..." A gust of wind slammed into us. The flames wavered. The darkness around us seemed to move. Shift. Breathe. I took a step back. "You can't let them go out." "I know," she said, voice shaking. "But I don't know how much longer I can do this." A lantern nearby sputtered. Then another. One by one, the lights were going out. The air turned ice cold. I ran. I don't know why. I just knew I had to. I raced back toward the village, my breath sharp in my throat. Behind me, I heard something deep, slow, hungry. A sound I never want to hear again. When I reached the village, the last of the lanterns flickered weakly. I turned, panting, searching for the woman. But she was gone. The darkness at the edge of the tree seemed deeper, like it had swallowed something whole. The lantern stayed dark for the rest of the night. The villagers didn't speak of it. They only glanced at the empty hooks where the lanterns once hung, shaking their heads. The old man who had warned me before only muttered one thing: "She's fading." I left Eldamia the next day. But I think about her. The lantern keeper. The woman who waited. And I wonder, when the last lantern goes out, what happens then?